call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things.
Navajo Stirling takes on Rodolfo Bellato this Saturday at UFC Fight Night, Perth, Australia. And Navajo Stirling, taking a pretty big step up in competition, in my opinion, taking on Rodolfo Bellato, who's very dangerous, has a lot of experience. So we'll see how this one plays out. But Navajo Stirling, 27 years old, 6'4", 79-inch reach, undefeated at 7-0. Primarily a kickboxer, has really good kick game. Primarily a kicker, in my opinion, but does train out of City Kickboxing. Had 22 pro kickboxing fights before transitioning to MMA. Has front kicks, leg kicks. Takes his time picking his shots. Has really good forward pressure, and has started to mix in the grappling in his fights as well to kind of open things up, open up his striking as well, and find breaks within the fights. Taking on Rodolfo Bellato, who's 29, 6'3", the 77.5-inch reach, 12-2-1 in his career. Very intimidating presence in the cage, big for the division. Pushes forward, being the aggressor, cuts off the cage very well, gets in guys' face, makes them fight, just makes the octagon very small for his opponents, and just very dangerous everywhere. Very good striker, tons of power, really good jiu-jitsu off of his back, jiu-jitsu black belt, hard calf kicks, really good leg kicks, very good in the clinch. Not the fastest guy on the feet, but he does have tons of power, mixes up his strikes really well. Very good open guard game off of his back. He's able to kind of swivel his hips, look for sweeps, and threaten off of his back very well. He's very what's the word I'm looking for? Just has a very good ability to swivel his hips and move off of his back that I'm not used to seeing for somebody who's 230 pounds in the UFC. But has really good cardio as well. Decent chin. Seen him get rocked a few times. Seen him get KO'd, but very hard to get out of there. Very resilient. Has a I wanted to say before his last performance he has tons of heart. Just looking at some of his fights where he's able to kind of fight back. The Eor Puerto fight, the Jimmy Crute fight, was able to kind of dig deep, and after losing the first round or getting rocked and making a comeback. But in his last fight against Paul Craig, that was just extremely disappointing. Winning the fight, no sense in putting on the theatrics like he did and faking that knockout or whatever you want to call it. That was just pathetic, honestly. But I don't know. I still have faith in Rodolfo Bellato, and I don't have faith in Navajo Stirling. I think Navajo Stirling is overrated, and I think Bellato is just too good everywhere. And I know this is probably not a popular pick considering his last performance, but other than that, he's looked good in the UFC. Outside of his losses to Vitor Petrino in his career, he's looked really good. He's very dangerous. He's very well-rounded, and I'm just not convinced by Navajo Stirling yet. With his performance against Tuco Tokos, he should have ran through Tuco Tokos. Ivan Erslan, again, just not doing enough. I just don't think he is what the UFC wants us to think he is. Tuco Tokos had success with his takedowns and the grappling, and I think Bellato is very good on the ground, has really good ground and pound jiu-jitsu black belt, going to be the much better grappler, much more dangerous on the ground. He has several ground and pound TKOs himself, has some submission wins. I don't think that Stirling is going to be able to mix in the wrestling that he did in his previous fights against Bellato, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that to kind of open up his striking or to really define the breaks that he was wanting in his previous fights. He doesn't have a lot of experience either, taking on a guy with double the amount of fights, double the skills in terms of well-rounded skill set. Bellato is very big. He's very dangerous on the feet too. He's dangerous wherever the fight goes. He is kind of chinny, doesn't move his head very well. He can be hit, and that is a concern of mine heading into this fight, but Stirling hasn't shown me to have the skill or the crazy knockout ability needed to chin Bellato in his career so far. He wasn't able to get Tuco Tokos out of there, or Ivan Erslan out of there, and I just feel like if you're not getting those guys out of there, I don't think you're going to get somebody like Rodolfo Bellato out of there. I think that Bellato's going to cut off the cage, batter his legs, push forward, land damage, put a lot of pressure on him. I don't think that he'll be concerned about the grappling coming his way from Stirling, so he'll be able to kind of better commit to his strikes and really open up on the feet. He's got great cardio as well. He can put a lot of volume out there, a lot of power, and just not get tired. I think that he's got a weird ability as a big dude to throw with tons of power, to grapple, and to still be able to do that for 3 hard rounds. And we saw Stirling in his 2 fights in the UFC. It's like midway through the second round, the end of the second round, he's gasping for air at the end of those rounds. So I don't know if he's really got if he's figured out the gas tank or the cardio base for an MMA fight where you are grappling and you're doing everything. You're doing more than just stand up. And it seems like he does struggle from a cardio perspective as the fight progresses. So I'm going to go with Bellato. Again, I know his theatrics in his last fight was a very bad look, but I still think he's very good. I think that he's better technically than Navajo Stirling, who hasn't shown me that he has the ability to compete with somebody as well-rounded and as dangerous and as big as Rodolfo Bellato, who's been training for much longer. He's been training in MMA, in all mixed martial arts, whereas Stirling was primarily a striker, getting into the UFC and kind of having to figure out the rest of the aspects of MMA as he goes. So I think Bellato, he's very well-rounded. At this point at 205, I think he's probably one of the most well-rounded guys that we have in terms of wrestling, striking, and jiu-jitsu. And I just think he's too big of a step up right now for Stirling. I know that he's taken this fight on Stirling's home turf. I know that he doesn't have a lot of confidence from the UFC or the fan base in general, but I feel like he's going to come into this one with a chip on his shoulder, looking to kind of erase that last fight off of everybody's radar. So I'm going to go with Bellato. I'm going to go with Bellato in this one. I think that he can get the finish. I think he can get Stirling to the ground, find the ground and pound TKO, or find the submission, but I do think Bellato gets this one done. Thanks.